one of the many exciting things about joining Live was being able to come here and play in front of a Spanish crowd, especially on a level of event and level of competition that I hadn't really yet enjoyed, right? I've been able to play events in Spain.
Here in the beautiful Valderrama, which some say is the European Augusta, it's so special. There's so much history here. There's so much Spanish history here.
Well, it has so much history behind. It's only a 50 years old club, but so much has happened through the years. I mean, we had the Ryder Cup, we had World Gold Championships, and now we have Live.
1, 2, 3, 2, 1.
I feel like when there's this wind in this golf course is so difficult that it's equally stressful no matter when or where you're playing it. But it was fun. It's always fun to be back home and be with the home crowd. It's always a joy to have this many people supporting me all day. It's so much fun.
OMG, what did we just witness? Our first ever double playoff in Live Golf history. I am so pumped up right now.
So much happened on the last 5 minutes. I mean, it looked like it was going to the crushers and Annie Barton winning, and all of a sudden then Abraham holding a chip, David Puig birdie 8, then that little putt from Annie Barton on the last. I mean, it was great watching.
You know, it's really amazing to be able to do it in your home country, in front of my family, in front of so many friends, and on my favorite golf course. So it's obviously super nice.
On a completely unrelated random note, the Costa Rican basketball team are murdering teams this week in the FIBA World Cup pre-qualifications. I'm looking at the basketball score, Summer League and stuff, and I've caught on. I'm like, what's going on here with the World Cup qualifying? And I keep seeing Costa Rica every day, and I'm like, man, Costa Rica's up by 20. They were down earlier. Now they're up by 25 on El Salvador. They're minus 31 in game right now. But let's get to some fights. We got Lou in the house. Fun talking football, but we'll have time to get back to the National Football League. So, Lou, we're at the Apex tomorrow night. Talked about my excitement for next week's card, so I can't wait to break that down next week with you. But what about tomorrow night's card, Lou? What should we be looking at?
Well, we got a great set of fights. We lost the co-main event. Unfortunately, one of the athletes got ill. Obviously, we hope that they're going to be okay. And so that fight actually was going to be competed at 185. So there were
Tavares and Park.
Yes, there were only 2 fights that were going to be with combatants that weighed 170 or greater. Now we lost 50% of those fights. So there's only 1 fight on the card that's featuring big men, and it's the first fight of the night between.
Is it an overcard then, Lou? Should we be looking at overs?
That's where I'm going with it. It's in the apex and the smaller confines, but that is minimized to a degree when you have a bunch of 145 and 125 pound fighters fighting in that octagon. Though it's small, it's still plenty of room for the undersized athlete. So we're going to have mostly fights with undersized athletes. However, this time of year is Dana White's Contender Series. Each year, the Contender Series pours numerous amounts of very inexpensive labor into the UFC. At this time of the year, UFC fighters, let me finish. At this time of year, UFC fighters are under tremendous pressure to perform, because if you're making
there's
20
new ones coming in.
If you're a middle earning fighter and you don't win, they're gonna replace you with a Contender Series person that's just happy to be in the UFC. So there's a lot of contracts that are coming up on their last fight, and what we're gonna see, I think, like we saw a little last week, is some desperation and fighters that know their backs against the wall. And so with that added desperation. I think the card is okay, though it's populated with athletes not a lot of people know. 6 Brazilians coming in, 4 South Koreans coming in.
So what do you think of the main event between the Brazilians, the women's fight with Jandiroba, minus 135, 140 favorite? I'm looking at a minus 138 here right now. Sort of a wrestler versus more of a striker fight here, right, Lou? What do you think of this?
Yeah, that's really the intrigue. 2 Brazilian ladies, both more mature. One's 35, one's 34. Lemos is the striker. She carries tremendous power. Absolutely, she knows BJJ, and she's submitted opponents. But she doesn't want to fight Jandiroba where Jandiroba is most comfortable and has her best chance to win. So Lemos will want to keep it standing and use her power on Jandiroba, who is only a pedestrian striker and defender of strikes. Jandiroba, meanwhile, would be the fighter that wants to minimize distance, cut the cage off, press Lemos against the cage, wrap her up, grope onto her, throw her down to the mat, and try and get on top, or at least grab an arm or a leg. So where this fight takes place and how it takes place will dictate a lot, because Jandiroba can't afford to give Lemos the space by which she could get those strikes off and do tremendous damage. I lean to Lemos in this fight. She's still a small dog. She's been in with better and has a little bit more UFC experience.
One thing, Lou, surprised me here a little bit is the total of this fight. It's a 5-round fight, obviously, but I thought that the over would be shaded a little bit more heavily than it is. I'm seeing 2.5 at minus 165, 3.5 at minus 115. Yet, I guess the thought process is Lemos could catch her, right, early. Like, if she wins, that's her path to victory. Then maybe she catches here. But what are your thoughts on the total? Because normally fights like this, it's like, minus 350 or something like that over 2.5.
Yeah, the lighter the weight, the longer they go. And then when you take it to women's fights, they go even longer yet. And so to see a 5-round women's fight lined at 2.5 tells you something. And Lemos is the one with the power now. I will say this, Jandiroba is slick with her BJJ, but I think Lemos is equipped enough to know how to defend that and to stay away from it. My only fear would be that if Lemos maybe starts to tire in the 4th and 5th round, maybe Jandiroba, then when they're both very wet and sweaty, maybe Jandiroba has a chance then. But realistically, I think this is Lemos, and I would tend to jump that 2.5 on the over. You can already see, you mentioned there was a 3.5 as well. When you start to see both of those, they're going to get rid of the 2.5 because people are betting that over, and that's where I would go with it.
Garcia and Choi is not a pick 'em, but short odds. Yeah, that's what's interesting. There's a lot of, sort of toss-up fights on this card here with Garcia and Choi. Similar situation with Holobaugh and Krzyzewski. What do you think of these fights, Lou? What else catches your eye here?
Yeah, this Choi fight with Garcia is going to be 2 absolute killers. They both stand up. They're both tall. They're long. They're angular. Garcia has tremendous power. He's had 15 wins and 12 of them by KO. And he goes straight after guys. He's got that Mexican chin, meaning he doesn't start fighting until a mule kicks him right in the teeth. Then he gets PO. I'm telling you, this guy is a killer. And meanwhile, Choi on the other side is maybe less aggressive and will go hunting after Garcia less. Preferably, he likes to counterpunch a little bit. And that's the intrigue of this fight, because Garcia's coming right in after him, and he's going to give Choi the fight he wants. Choi's going to try and counter Garcia when Garcia's coming in to initiate action. This should be rock'em sock'em robots in a great fight.
Yeah, man, this Garcia guy, if we can get a shot up, Cam, you like him. He kind of looks like your boy Ryan Hainzer a little bit. He's got like a crazy gleam to his face here. But
like that.
You talking about him, Lou? 4 of it. Look, he's fought 5 times in the UFC. He's 4-1, and the 4 wins are all stoppages. Like you said, this guy is just out to finish fights.
Highly aggressive. He's got a piston jab, and he throws combinations behind the jab. He's a really slick, deft boxer.
I'm taking Garcia. I'm sold.
Yeah.
Hollabaugh and Krzyzewski. What do you think of this one, sir?
Yeah, Hollabaw's the more durable guy. He's got more UFC experience. That said, he's been disappointing his last couple fights. And this Krzyzewski has a Russian name, but he's every bit a Brazilian fighter, but not the BJJ specialist that wants to roll around on the mat. No, this guy's a Muay Thai kickboxer, and he's fast, he's lethal, he's dangerous, and he's larger than is Hollabaugh. I think Hollabaw's lost some of the zip and quickness, and I think that's what Krzyzewski's going to offer him. This might be a bad matchup for Hollabaugh.
Man, I like this fight as well. All right, well, we're rolling along here. All right, Lou, we only got a couple of minutes here. Anything else before we let you go?
Yeah, there's a great fight earlier in the night. Cody Durden at 125 pounds fights a Brazilian named Bruno Silva. Bruno Silva has heavy hands, and he's a good submission artist. Durden's been submitted before. However, Durden is younger, taller, longer, great wrestler, great cardio. In a fight lined at Pick'em, I like Durden a good deal here, but it'll be close until the final minutes. Durden wins in the third round.
I like where you're going with this as well. Ready to rock. See, it's not always the star-laden cards that we get excited about from a betting perspective. I'm liking these fights tomorrow, and we'll be on them. If you guys want more great MMA inside information, go to Gambloo.com. Follow Lou on Twitter X at Gambloo. Thanks, Lou. Have a good one, Lou.
One of the many exciting things about joining Live was being able to come here and play in front of a Spanish crowd, especially on a level of event and level of competition that I hadn't really yet enjoyed, right? Been able to play events in Spain.
Here in the beautiful Valderrama, which some say is the European Augusta, it's so special. There's so much history here. There's so much Spanish history here.
Well, it has so much history behind. It's only a 50 years old club, but so much has happened through the years. I mean, we had the Ryder Cup, we had World Gold Championships, and now we have Live.
1, 2, 3, 2, 1.
I feel like when there's this wind at this golf course is so difficult that it's equally stressful no matter when or where you're playing it. But it was fun. It's always fun to be back home and be with the home crowd. It's always a joy to have this many people supporting me all day. It's so much fun.
OMG, what did we just witness? Our first ever double playoff in Live Golf history. I am so pumped up right now.
So much happened on the last 5 minutes. I mean, it looked like it was going to the crushers and Anibal winning, and all of a sudden then Abraham holding a chip, David Puig birdie, then that little putt from Anibal on the last. I mean, it was great watching.
You know, it's really amazing to be able to do it in your home country, in front of my family, in front of so many friends, and on my favorite golf course. So it's obviously super nice.
Thanks to Lou from Gambloo.com. Excellent insight, as always, from Lou. Looking forward to betting on this card tomorrow night. Second half has started. The Rough Riders and the Bombers. It's an extremely annoying game. It's a field goal fest so far. There's still a lot of football left. And historically, as we all know, these Rider games do get crazy in the second half. But it's going to have to get stupid crazy to actually to get there. Teaser players are hanging on for hope right now in this 6-6 game. I think it will open up a bit. The Riders are moving to football right now, but Tonight's been one of these nights tonight that, I don't know, I think there's been about 15 field goal attempts. It's extremely annoying. And the in-game total right now, 34 and a half. And I believe we got Mr. Total himself ready to step up and in. Is Rob Vino ready to go? Rob, good to see you tonight. Rob, how you doing? All right, no, he's not quite ready. We got to reset. We got to reset with Rob. All right, big play for the Rough Riders here. Just moved to 35 and a half. That's too light, Cam. Even though they're only at 12 right now, that's too light. Every Rough Rider game gets crazy in the second half. The only problem is they're only at 12 points. It was 33 and a half, 34 and a half. They just moved it to 35 and a half. I think we got Vino ready to go. And I'm sure Vino's as frustrated as I am after that first CFL field goal fest. I'm thinking of another F word I like to drop in there right now. How you doing, Rob?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that 20 that Ottawa put up in that first game, I'll tell you that. I needed a team total over 26 and a half in that game, and obviously did not get there. So that was one L for the evening game.
Yeah, I had 3 L's. I've been crushing, and I can pat myself on the back when I do great in the CFL. Tonight has not been one of those great nights tonight. We went 0-3 in the first game. Both teams moved the ball, but they would settle for field goals. Ottawa would settle for field goals, and Edmonton would settle for missing field goals. And it just sort of added up. You can get there, and we've seen this, Rob, in the CFL, touchdown riders. We've seen this in the CFL where there's just it's a bunch of field goals, Rob, over and over and over again. But they happen fast. You sprinkle in a touchdown here and there, a couple of singles, and the game just sort of creeps over the number. Tonight, it just didn't happen. Like, if just one of the teams, like, would have just sort of, all right, I'm scoring a touchdown here, the other team would have responded with a touchdown. But it literally was just a field goal fest all night after the opening touchdown.
Yeah, it never opened up at all. So, there's a lot of field goals in this league, Gabe. I mean, there's nights where teams kick 5-7 field goals in a night, but you're right. There's generally been, at least last week when there were 4 overs played in 4 games, touchdowns thrown in there with the field goals. And it's interesting with Edmonton, Edmonton's the number 1 team in the league in red zone touchdown conversion. They were 12 out of 14 coming in, converting touchdowns on red zone opportunities. You would have thought they might have gotten there a little bit more, but they didn't. So what are we going to do? And now we're here with this second game at 6-6. Actually, you know what? Let me just tell you about the second loss I had, because I had Winnipeg first half, -2. And it ended in a 6-6 tie. The interception right before halftime negated by a holding penalty against the defense. And otherwise, they would have been right in field goal position to kick a 3 and go into halftime 9-6.
Don't feel bad, Rob. I took the Toronto Raptors at NBA Summer League play tonight at plus 5.5 points. They were losing 32-7 after about 6 minutes of play. And I don't know. Last I looked, they were down 40. So I don't even know what the score is. Like, I don't need to know. Did they come back? Anybody? Did they come back?
That's where my success lies tonight, Gabe. I had the Milwaukee Phoenix game over the total. Milwaukee continues to be an absolute defensive disaster in Summer League. Give up another 115 tonight. And by the skin of my teeth, over 175.5. Sweated out the Sixers Spurs over the total. They got to 176. So 2 cashes in the NBA Summer League and 0 for 2 in the CFL tonight. So a split for me so far.
The Miami Heat beat the Raptors.
47, I think.
Yeah, they lost 109-73 in the end. So they cut the lead. So 109-73. All right, so as we say, the touchdown riders. And guys, sounds like Cam's on the riders by a celebration. I'm on the riders as well. I got them on the money line as well at plus 185. In-game is 37.5 right now. I'm going to jump on this, Rob. We know about the riders in the second half. It was 33.5, 34.5. I didn't get it in. They locked it. I'm able to get it on 37.5 right now. We're already up to 19, 13-6. Especially if Winnipeg scores here, boom. Next thing you know, this thing really just starts to open up. We're tied at 26. So I jumped in on the over 37.5. I'm on the Riders +5. I got the Riders plus 185 on the money line. I got the over in the game. I got the game teased to the over. And I need some wins here after getting absolutely punched in the mouth in the earlier game. We're betting pretty solid units on these games. We came into tonight 23 games over 500, 48 and 25. So it's like, all right, we're killing it. It's time to really try to kill them. And then, boom, we get punched in the mouth. But it's the final time that I'm ever trusting the Edmonton Elks. Like, unless I'm getting like 12 points or 18 points or something like that. Like, to trust them to actually win a football game, especially on the road, in hindsight, it was a bad number against an Ottawa Red Black team that's playing pretty good football. Ottawa's schedule has been pretty soft to start the season, but we give them credit. They're winning their football games, and I told you guys before the season started, 6.5 was too light for them, and now they're already up to 4 wins already, and they've only played 6 games. They're 4-2 right now. All right, on the other side, we'll get Rob Vino's thoughts on tomorrow's CFL game, Sunday CFL game, and Rob loves to bet on overs. We'll find out if he's going to dip his toes into the WNBA All-Stars versus the U.S. national team All-Star game tomorrow night. 189.5.
One of the many exciting things about joining Live was being able to come here and play in front of a Spanish crowd, especially on a level of event and level of competition that I hadn't really yet enjoyed, right? I've been able to play events in Spain.
Here in the beautiful Valderrama, which some say is the European Augusta, it's so special. There's so much history here. There's so much Spanish history here.
Well, it has so much history behind. It's only a 50 years old club, but so much has happened through the years. I mean, we had the Ryder Cup, we had World Gold Championships, and now we have Live.
1, 2, 3, 2, 1.
I feel like when there's this windy, this golf course is so difficult that it's equally stressful no matter when or where you're playing it. But it was fun. It's always fun to be back home and be with the home crowd. It's always a joy to have this many people supporting me all day. It's so much fun.
OMG, what did we just witness? Our first ever double playoff in Live Golf history. I am so pumped up right now.
So much happened on the last 5 minutes. I mean, it looked like it was going to the crushers and Annie Barton winning, and all of a sudden then Abraham holding a chip, David Puig birdie, then that little putt from Annie Barton on the last. I mean, it was great watching.
You know, it's really amazing to be able to do it in your home country, in front of my family, in front of so many friends, and on my favorite golf course. So it's obviously super nice.
This is SportsRage. We're kicking it on the Friday Night Freak Show. We've got a 13-6 football game right now. 13-6 football game. In-game total's 37.5. The Rough Riders are -2.5, -160 on the money line. Zach Caleros and the Bombers are moving the ball, though, right now. In fact, they have the ball on the Riders' 20-yard line or so. We'll get to the CFL game tomorrow. But, Rob, I brought up the WNBA All-Star game tomorrow night. Interesting dynamic. It's not just a regular All-Star game. It's the WNBA All-Stars versus the U.S. National Olympic Team. Interception. That doesn't help the total, but it helps the Riders. The Riders' defense, man, these guys just step up with picks all the time. They just stepped up with a big interception as the Bombers were moving in on the 25-yard line. Riders get the football back right now. Zach Calero's just not getting into a rhythm tonight. But so the WNBA All-Star game tomorrow night, interesting dynamic. Normally would be like, okay, whatever. It's the All-Stars versus the national team, and they'll all have some fun and hit some threes, and they'll go through the motions. But there's a dynamic here. The U.S. Olympic coach, there's tweets of her in the past, and not even that long distance, like the start of the season. She's like the president basketball operations at the Minnesota Lynx, the woman that's the coach of the U.S. team. She used to be a coach in the WNBA. She's like a legend. She's won like 4 championships. And she doesn't like Caitlin Clark, like point blank. And like people are finding her tweets and her retweets and like what she likes and posts and stuff. And it's always negative about, oh, there's more than just Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and the kids and stuff. I knew like the older women in the league had a vote as far as Caitlin Clark, and they voted they didn't want her there because they knew that all anyone would talk about was Caitlin Clark there. They didn't want her there. Now they're playing tomorrow. It adds something different here, Vino, to this thing, right? And Angel Reese would you know what I mean? Angel Reese would block out her mother, man, to get a rebound. Like she's got ice in her veins, that lady, that girl. Same with Caitlin Clark. Like they got a chip on their shoulder. And so do a couple other players on the WNBA team that think that they should have been on the Olympic team. It's going to be a fun game tomorrow night. Point spread's up to 6.5. Total's down to 188.5 now, Rob.
Yeah, the total part is the part that I don't understand, Gabe, because I bet it earlier at 191, and I was just saying to you off air, I have a good mind to go back in and get more at 188.5 now, as long as it's going to keep going down. To me, it's a showcase game. The Olympic team certainly doesn't want to risk injury here. I think the defensive intensity might be a little lax on both sides here. And for what it's worth, Caitlin Clark, point guard who can get 19 assists with a team full of Indiana Fever players, now has nothing but all-stars around her to feed the basketball to. I mean, the list of players on the all-star team, from Kayla McBride to Arike Ogunbowale, all these scorers. Alicia Gray, I think she won the three-point shooting contest tonight, Gabe. I'm not sure of that. I thought it was Alicia Gray for the Atlanta Dream who won the three-point contest. But John Paul Jones, Brianna Jones, there's so many offensive threats on this team that, you know, I just feel like 191, we see that in a regular season Las Vegas Aces game. Seemed like a low number to me. I think the league, once again, will showcase this game somewhat the way the NBA showcases theirs. Let the stars have their talent, have their moment while everybody's watching and score points. So I could be wrong. But again, I kind of use this theory when the NFL goes overseas to play games. You like to show the Britain crowds some scoring. So I'm there. I'm there with over 191, and I'll probably get there again with over 188.5.
Great point, Caitlin Clark. I was watching the game the other night, and I bet it's a hot bet right now, guys. It was Caitlin Clark over 15.5 rebounds and assists. And she had 19 assists. And as Rob stated, Aaliyah Boston's the only good player on that team. And so she's got no one to pass to. If you watch Caitlin Clark in the Indiana Fever play, she has to slow down for her teammates, right? She's like a mother, like running, or a sister running with her slower, not as athletic friends or something. It's like, okay, I'll slow down for you so you can catch up. And then she passes it to them. It's true, Cam. Like now, but now tomorrow, bro, like she's going to drop back and she's going to be like, oh, I can, like people, she's got real players that know how to cut and that can play at a faster tempo like she does. And I can't believe the number here, guys. Over 9.5 assists, plus 130. Over 12.5 assists, Caitlin Clark, plus 550. Plus 550 for 12.5 assists. I got to play that.
one of the many exciting things about joining Live was being able to come here and play in front of a Spanish crowd, especially on a level of event and level of competition that I hadn't really yet enjoyed, right? I've been able to play events in Spain.
Here in the beautiful Valderrama, which some say is the European Augusta, it's so special. There's so much history here. There's so much Spanish history here.
Well, it has so much history behind. It's only a 50 years old club, but so much has happened through the years. I mean, we had the Ryder Cup, we had World Gold Championships, and now we have Live.
1, 2, 3, 2, 1.
I feel like when there's this wind at this golf course is so difficult that it's equally stressful no matter when or where you're playing it. But it was fun. It's always fun to be back home and be with the home crowd. It's always a joy to have this many people supporting me all day. It's so much fun.
OMG, what did we just witness? Our first ever double playoff in Live Golf history. I am so pumped up right now.
So much happened on the last 5 minutes. I mean, it looked like it was going to the crushers and Anibal winning, and all of a sudden then Abraham holding a chip, David Puig birdie, then that little putt from Anibal on the last. I mean, it was great watching.
You know, it's really amazing to be able to do it in your home country, in front of my family, in front of so many friends, and on my favorite golf course. So it's obviously super nice.
I'm looking forward to this WNBA All-Star game tomorrow night. And also we have CFL football tomorrow night as well. So let's get into the CFL. It's sort of rivalry weekend this weekend to a certain extent, like not fully. Labor Day weekend is supposed to be there. That's their rivalry weekend in the CFL, but it is this weekend a bit as well. You got the Bombers and the Riders, a little bit of Banjo Bowl action going on here. And you got the Argonauts and the Hamilton Tiger Cats, oldest rivalry in North American sports, actually, these two teams. But it's lost a little bit of its luster. They call it the Labor Day Classic, actually. And it is a cool game they play. Like, it's always sold out, and people are really into it and stuff. But Tiger Cat fans are getting pretty frustrated right now. They're like Edmonton. They can't buy a win. They find ways to lose. Their defense sucks. They get picked apart all the time. But they're also in games, so it's like good, the bad, and the ugly with them. Argonauts are 2.5-point road favorites in this game. The total is 53. Cam, what's your pick for this game?
Well, I'm going to tell you, Gabe, I was at that Hamilton game. They looked awful, but they have 6 rookies starting, and they're getting exploited. So I know you guys are big over guys, so that over seems high, but I like the over. I think Hamilton will get theirs against Toronto and vice versa. I got a weird feeling that Hamilton shows up. They've been abysmal. Got slapped around by BC. But you know what? That line kind of tells me something, too. I think Hamilton can linger in the game, and I like the over 53. Points galore with Toronto and Hamilton.
Rob, the Ticats coming off a bye week. So they've had like 2 weeks since their last football game. They are getting lit up. They have like all these young defensive backs on the football team. And they get burnt when they play one-on-one. So they're dropping them in this weird soft zone coverage, and they're getting burnt with that because then other teams are just dumping it off. And teams have figured it, like the Ticat defense gets burnt either way. Like their DBs play too far, and the QB drops back and throws for a first down. Like, all right, there's 10 yards easily. And or they pinch up, and there's confusion because their communication isn't good enough, and they get beat for deep passes. They've had some time to work on this right now, Rob. Are you buying in that the Ticats can tighten things up a little bit here defensively? And do you trust the Argos offense in this game? It's a tricky football game. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think I would trust a little of both, Gabe. To tell you the truth, I would trust that the bye week is helpful to Hamilton. The biggest problem I have with Hamilton, guys, and I don't know if you see the same thing as I do, is Bo Levi Mitchell or excuse me, the Hamilton passing game goes out there and averages 327 per game. Yet every time I watch them, they're like the team that moves 20 to 20 and then finds a way to screw up a drive. They don't convert enough for the yardage that they account for. They don't put enough points on the scoreboard as compared to the yardage. If they would ever get that right, I think they probably would have won a couple of these games, getting lit up or not. They're good enough offensively. They show you that at times. And then they just don't put points on the board. So for me, they're a little bit scary from that aspect. I think Toronto would be the correct side. I trust them to score more points. But I kind of feel like one of these games, Hamilton's going to come out here and score 30 plus. And it could be against this defense, and it could especially be off of a bye week. So I think if I had my choice here, I would prefer to go with what Cam said to start with, which was over the total 53. I think you can get a losing side here with 25, 26 points and a winning side onto 30. So that's enough to get us there. I think that's the way I would play it, Gabe. But I wish I wait for that 1 week where Hamilton's offense, the yardage that they accumulate adds up to the same on the scoreboard.
I'm going to lead with the Hamilton Tiger Cats as well, although I feel like it's taking the Edmonton Elks all over again. Like tomorrow night, I'll be like, God, I can't believe I just took this team that hasn't won a game yet. Like you said, Bo Levi Mitchell, he'll end up with like 330 yards passing and 2 or 3 touchdowns, but there'll be 2 or 3 picks, and there'll be a lot of plays along the way where it's like, man, he was wide open and you threw it over his head. Or he's a lot too sort of like Bethel Thompson, who I don't think is very good personally. But he's like Bethel Thompson. He's better than Bethel, but like he's one of these quarterbacks like in the NFL, man, where if the play blows up, he's toast. And in 2024, you can't play like this. Like in the perfect world, when Levi Mitchell has time and he drops back, he can still throw a ball. But if the play blows up, and plays blow up a lot now, you got 3 seconds max now, 2.5 seconds, you got to get rid of the ball. And he gets rid of the ball and he panics. He gets happy feet. Bethel Thompson doesn't really want to get hit because he's like, oh, I'm getting paid anyway, so I don't want to get hurt. So he gets rid of the ball. But I get the feeling, too, they're due. Like, they're not a bad football team. They're due for a break here. And I think the Argos are good, but not great. Like, the Argos are going to win a game, lose a game, and just sort of, I think it is a decent spot for Hamilton. I like the over. The BC Lions, that game's on CBS Sports Network, and so is the Sunday night game, the BC Lions and the Calgary Stampeders. The BC Lions are 5-point favorites now. It was 4.5 all week, up to 5. Total 52.5. This is an interesting game. In the sense that Wally Buono, a longtime Calgary coach and president, whatever, kingpin, and also he ran the BC Lions as well. He's being honored at this game. And I guess they're putting his name up and all that type of stuff. I actually met Wally Buono before, and I sat at a dinner table at a football banquet, and I got put at this table. There were a bunch of Michigan Wolverines there, and they put me at a table with Vince Lombardi Jr., the commissioner of the CFL, Larry Smith, who was a politician at the time, and Vince Lombardi Jr., all right? It was the most serious table in the room. And I asked the guy, the coach, I said, why in the hell would you put me with the most straight, uptight guys in here? And I said, I'm a Michigan fan. And I said, Biak Makutu and all these Wolverines are at the other table over there drinking. And I'm here with freaking Vince Lombardi Jr. and Coach Buono, and they all hate me and giving me the evil eye. Right? And I go, why would you do this to me? And he goes, why? Because he goes, if you were over there at that table, you'd be hammered already. He goes, these guys will keep you in line. You can't get drunk in front of them. And I'm like, oh, God. So I'm sitting here drinking wine. I'll never forget, Cam. I shook Wally Buono's hand. I swear. And I'm not just saying this by chance. Out of everyone's hand I've ever shaken in my life, I remember him the most. I don't know if he did it deliberately or that's just who he is. I thought he broke my fingers. It was like, he was like, nice to meet you. And it was like, bam, man. And I remember putting my hand on the table thinking, did he do that on purpose? Or is this just am I a big wuss? I was looking at him. And Vince Lombardi Jr. Vince Lombardi Jr. dresses the same way as Vince does. He's got the suit on, the glasses, and the buzz cut. And I'm getting drunk, and I'm like, this is just too much, man. And I'm sitting here like, I'm with the head rob of the Conservative Political Party of Canada. Like, literally. Like, it's like the head of the Republican Party, me, a football coach, and Vince Lombardi's kid at a dinner table at a football banquet. It was right out of a sitcom, bro. It was the craziest thing ever.
Yeah. I love it. Boy, it just crushed my hand. Those old guys got big
Hey, for the
meatballs.
record, I got everyone back, and I went to a strip club with the guys after, with the real table. I'm just saying a story.
Right. Not Wally and
I told him, I said, fine. I said,
invited.
yeah. I said, but I'm going out after. I left. That was
Those
the
old
best.
guys, that's amazing.
Well, I used to go to those football banquets all the time, man. I was the honorary president of the Junior Football League. No joke. So I used to go to the awards and give speeches and hang out. So I used to get drunk with coaches like Gary Barnett and Gary Moeller. I met all these like NCAA coaches.
Larry
and I get. Yeah, Larry. I wish. Yes, me and Stacy would have hit it off.
Larry. Yeah. Happy keg, Larry.
Yeah.
They all drink. We'll put it that way. They all drink.
Yes, they do.
I remember remember all the speeches. Football's a lot like the alphabet. A, attitude. You have to have a good attitude. B, braveness. Got to be brave. C, courage.
One of the many exciting things about joining Live was being able to come here and play in front of a Spanish crowd, especially on a level of event and level of competition that I hadn't really yet enjoyed. Right, I've been able to play events in Spain.
Here in the beautiful Valderrama, which some say is the European Augusta. It's so special. There's so much history here. There's so much Spanish history here.
Well, it has so much history behind. It's only a 50 years old club, but so much has happened through the years. I mean, we had the Ryder Cup, we had World Gold Championships, and now we have Live.
4, 3, 2, 1.
I feel like when there's this wind in this golf course is so difficult that it's equally stressful no matter when or where you're playing it. But it was fun. It's always fun to be back home and be with the home crowd. It's always a joy to have this many people supporting me all day. It's so much fun.
OMG, what did we just witness? Our first ever double playoff in Live Golf history. I am so pumped up right now.
So much happened on the last 5 minutes. I mean, it looked like it was going to the crushers and Annie Barton winning, and all of a sudden then Abraham holding a chip, David Puig birdie, then that little putt from Annie Barton on the last. I mean, it was great watching.
You know, it's really amazing to be able to do it in your home country, in front of my family, in front of so many friends, and on my favorite golf course. So it's obviously super nice.
$16-6 for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. It's funny. All the people, when the quarterback went down, Harris, Shea Patterson sucks. Let's see what happens with Shea Patterson. I told everybody, I mean, the same Shea Patterson that's played in front of 115,000 people before. He was starting quarterback for the Michigan Wolverines and the Ole Miss Rebels. Guy played in the SEC and the Big Ten. I don't think playing it through Taylor Field is going to be too much and intimidate him. He'll be fine. And he's dinking and dunking, but they're winning football games. Although it's upsetting me. Man, the clock is just ticking so fast, and they're wussing out. They're punting on 3rd and 2. It's 16-6 with 9 minutes left right now for the Riders. So, quick story about Wally Bonner. We talked about the football banquet. I used to be at all these football banquets, meet a lot of people. It was cool. But Wally Bonner was the coach of the Calgary Stampeders, and The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, played football in Miami Hurricanes, wanted to be an NFL player, and didn't want to be a wrestler because his family were all wrestlers. He wanted to take a different route. He wanted to be a football player. And he wasn't good, he was on the verge of the NFL, so he didn't get drafted. So he was like, all right, I'm going to go to the CFL and prove myself. So he went to the Calgary Stampeders, and he made the team. He was going to make the team. So as a backup linebacker, defensive player, and he would have played special teams. And Wally Bono pulled him aside, and we talked about Wally Bono kind of being a straight edge, straight shooting type of guy. And Bono pulled him aside and said, listen, I know it's your dream that you want to play football, but you're not very good. And he said, I'm being honest with you. He goes, you're never going to play in the NFL. And he goes, you can make our team. And he goes, you've made the team. He goes, but you're going to play on special teams. And then he said, I know who your family is, and I know you wanted to do your thing, but he said, you're a wrestler. You're not a football player. He goes, you should be a pro wrestler. He goes, I'm just telling you. And he goes, but you made a team if you want. You're playing special teams and you're a backup. Rock, rest is history.
Yeah, that's a good decision. Listening to Wally.
Like, wow, huh? Like, The Rock owes him like a house.
I agree with that. I agree. Like, most
Ferrari,
coaches say that.
a Ferrari,
yeah.
I don't know, like something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, coach, like, thanks for. Otherwise, Dwayne Johnson would be like limping around right now. He'd be a special teams coach on the Ottawa Red Blacks, making like $88,000 a year. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Now he owns a football league.
Yeah, that's so amazing.
now he owns a league.
See, that's too passive life, right? If most coaches wouldn't even go, like they'd say, "Hey, dude, you're on the team, special teams, backup linebacker. We'll see you." But he actually took the time. So good on Wally.
Or Wally could have been greedy and said, let's use the kid's name and say he's the grandkid of the big wrestling star. Like, you know what I mean? But no, he was a straight shooter with him. He told him the truth, and the rest is history. So the BC Lions are playing the Calgary Stampeders. Calgary lost a shootout track meet last week to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Fun football game. I wish these games were like that. Totals 52.5 here. BC Lions are up to 5. I'm always sort of hesitant, with BC because they play so well every week. And it's like, wow, are they really going to just be this consistent? They lost the opening game of the season, guys. They've won 5 straight since, if you'll notice, too. They haven't had a bye week this year either. The BC Lions have played every week this year. So I'm always like, wow, it's going to catch up to them. But I'm not scared here, guys. I get the feeling that BC are just starting to dial it up a notch, and their offense is only getting better on a weekly basis now, Rob. Remember earlier in the year, we talked about it. That sort of gets stuck at 26, 28, wasn't fully clicking. Seems like now it's clicking, and now their new bars, like, we're going to get into the 30s here, right? And we see this Calgary defense, bro. You can throw on these guys. Vernon Adams is going to go off, and Calgary will put some points up. I like the over, but I think BC actually covered a 5.
Yeah, well, I'm with you on the over. That was the biggest bet in the CFL I made this week. I stand behind it still. When you go back to when they played in week 2 of this season, Gabe, it was the worst passing game Vernon Adams had. I mean, this is almost like a redemption game here. 277.
Yeah, I was at that game. I was at that game.
43 without a lot of offensive fireworks. They still got the 43. You're asking me for 10 more with, as you mentioned, what now seems to be an unstoppable BC Lions offense, especially against this defense. The matchup speaks volumes, right? I mean, Winnipeg last week, we talked about it. Winnipeg heading into last week, they got Zach Caleros back. And Winnipeg was like, we know what we are now. We're a running football team.
Winnipeg sucked, too. Their offense sucks, and they scored 41 on Calgary.
And they threw for 330. Yeah. Caleros threw for 330. They didn't do it running the ball. So Adams, I think, has a big day here. And where Jake Meyer's concerned in that Calgary offense, they have looked really, really good as well. 70% completion so far this year. for that team.
They got,
Looks pretty
they got
good to me.
79
So,
points in their last 2 games. And the Riders
Yeah.
have a good D. They put 35 on them. I was at the Hamilton game, 44. And let me tell you this, guys, they could have put 70 on them. They didn't play anything. Vanilla in the second half because the game was over. They literally ran out the clock. So I'm with you guys.
16-6, 2nd and 15 right now. Big play coming up for the Bombers here. Little dink and dunk here to Olivier. There's a flag on the play. I think it's probably coming back. I need some points. I went big on the over 37.5 in game, so we're at 22. Oh, I'm screwed. Like, even if I get 14 points, I'm going to get to 36. I need some weird craziness to happen. And you know what? It's just not happening because of Winnipeg. Winnipeg can't get anything going tonight. Like, think about this, guys. I don't know. Think about this, Rob. The Edmonton Elks did not score a touchdown tonight. And now the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, same thing. Like, we could have 2 teams tonight that didn't score touchdowns tonight, Rob, in a league that's been, last week, all 4 games went over the number. Now tonight they can't score a touchdown. They scored 41 points last week.
Yeah, and last week, like I say, Gabe, they came into that with Caleros back thinking they were just going to run the football. Instead, they threw the football to get to 41. So it's night and day here. The Saskatchewan defense has a lot to do with it, but the Bombers offense just, to get this thing over, they're the help that you need. You need them to push Saskatchewan a little bit. Just hasn't happened.
Yeah, they're going to have to kick a field goal here, or at least try a field goal. It's 16-6 with 6 minutes left. I swear this clock is fast tonight. Tick, tick, tick.
Yeah.
Boom goes the dynamite. Boom goes my account.
One of the many exciting things about joining Live was being able to come here and play in front of a Spanish crowd, especially on a level of event and level of competition that I hadn't really yet enjoyed, right? I've been able to play events in Spain.
Here in the beautiful Valderrama, which some say is the European Augusta. It's so special. There's so much history here. There's so much Spanish history here.
Well, it has so much history behind. It's only a 50-year-old club, but so much has happened through the years. I mean, we had the Ryder Cup, we had World Gold Championships, and now we have Live.
4, 3, 2, 1.
I feel like when there's this wind in this golf course is so difficult that it's equally stressful no matter when or where you're playing it. But it was fun. It's always fun to be back home and be with the home crowd. It's always a joy to have this many people supporting me all day. It's so much fun.
OMG, what did we just witness? Our first ever double playoff in Live Golf history. I am so pumped up right now.
So much happened on the last 5 minutes. I mean, it looked like it was going to the crushers and Anibal winning, and all of a sudden then Abraham holding a chip, David Puig birdie eight, then that little putt from Anibal on the last. I mean, it was great watching.
It's really amazing to be able to do it in your home country, in front of my family, in front of so many friends, and on my favorite golf course. So it's obviously super nice.
$16-9, 5.5 minutes left in the football game. Shea Patterson going deep, completes the pass. They just pick up about 25-30. And I'll tell you what, guys, you look back, when Shea Patterson played his first game, the Argos were favored by same numbers, like 4.5, 5. Nobody believed in them. They won the game outright. Now, once again tonight, the Bombers have won, and you know, here we go. They're on a streak now, and they're going to beat them. Here we go again. Shea Patterson's not getting respect. And shout out to my boy Harbaugh. Just goes to show what kind of coach Jim Harbaugh actually is. When they told the story, I just read it this week, when Shea Patterson took over for Trevor Harris, Harbaugh called him. A lot of coaches aren't caring about what their kids did in college or whatever. You know what I mean? Be like, dude, whatever. What do you want from me? I coached you 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. Harbaugh's running the Chargers for the first time. Harbaugh called him and told him, you're going to kill it. And the line when he told him, he goes, remember, you're Shea Patterson. That's what Harbaugh told. He said, don't forget, you're Shane effing Patterson. That's what he told him. He dropped an F-bomb. He goes, don't forget. He said, he blocked the outside noise. He goes, you're Shane effing Patterson. And he goes, remember what you did as a Michigan Wolverine. And he said, you got this. Think about it. Here he is right now. The only game this kid's lost is against the BC Lions. No shame in that last week, right? BC are playing great football right now. So, Rob, before we get you out of here, I want to ask you, my apologies if I was wrong, but was it you that dropped UCLA under season win total on the show?
It was.
I think it was. See, thank you. I knew. Yeah. It was 5.5. I like where you're going at. That schedule is a real bitch, man. I got to tell you. I threw one out I did a video this week. It's chalky, but Rob, how the hell does Liberty not go undefeated this year? Their win total is 10.5. There's 134 FBS teams in college football. The Liberty Flames schedule is 134th. They were 12-0 last year. Their only loss was to the Oregon Ducks in the bowl game. They have 14 returning starters, including their star running back and quarterback. Caden Salter's back. They got transfers coming in here from the portal. Their schedule is cupcake, it's Campbell and Kennesaw State and stuff like that. Dude, Liberty, Rob, I don't see how the hell they're not 12-0 this year. And 11-1, I still win my bet. I bet the over 10.5 Liberty Flames.
Yeah, I feel like that's the key, what you said at the end there, Gabe. 11-1, you still win that bet. They can afford one slip up. It happens in college football. Maybe it's an injury-riddled week or something. Something goes wrong, weather goes bad, anything. But they shouldn't lose any. But when you're afforded the luxury of being able to lose one and still cash, it's a solid bet. I mean, they shouldn't lose. That schedule is pathetic, to say the least. And our good colleague of mine, Ralph Michaels,
those camels, those fighting camels can ball a little bit. Camel.
Camels.
They're going to have a hard time come playoff time, though, aren't they, though? They're going to be like, hey, listen, we're 12-0. It's going to be like, dude, you beat Kennesaw State and Campbell.
And they're playing a real team.
Your toughest game was at App State. You play App State. That's it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's a hard case. It's a hard case to make. But they're going to have to win these games 50-0.
Exactly. That's what I like, too. They know we're going to run the score up.
There's no other way.
And they will.
The format.
Next week, we'll hit the about your UCLA. I like where you're going with that. I like Durrell. I I want to see them do well. And you know what? Garber's a decent quarterback. But that schedule, and I don't know if you saw this, Rob. I can send you the link to it, but I tweeted out this week. UCLA travel the most out of any team in football, college or pro football. They travel 26,000 miles this year, Rob.
It's insane. The amount of time
to put in context, guys, the Washington Commanders travel 10,000 miles this year.
Crazy.
Yeah, and UCLA's used to not traveling. I mean, what's the most they've ever traveled, UCLA? It's crazy.
To Pullman, Washington? I didn't like that. Think about that, guys. Think about that, Kev. All these Pac-12 teams used to think, it's tough up there in Corvallis. It's raining and it's on Saturday night. Okay. Yeah, have fun in Ann Arbor in November. Have fun at Penn State. Have fun in Iowa in the blizzard snow, USC. You guys are going to regret the move.
I agree.
You're going to think, why did we ever think this was a good idea? For what, an extra $20 million a year?
Yep.
With their 15-word play calls.
Next week, though, Rob, I want your take on the USC Trojans. Because everyone is bashing them.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think, you know what? Maybe they can go over 7.5.